Midlife changes us in ways that nobody really prepares us for. Your body changes, your energy changes, your priorities shift, sometimes massively, and suddenly the way you move through the world starts to feel really different. But here's what I want you to know: you are not losing power. You are actually awakening a deeper, softer, magnetic power that lies within you. So, in today's episode, I want to show you how midlife actually can awaken this soft power of yours, your radiance, your magnetism, and how you can step more fully into it. I'm Dianne Shepherd, and welcome to the Vital Goddess podcast. If you've been here before, welcome back. I so appreciate you. And if this is your first time tuning in, I'm thrilled you're here, and I hope you find something here that you're looking for. So I'm really excited to share this content with you today. Let's dive in. But before we dive into the content, let's just take a moment to come into the body. You could take a hand on your heart and a hand on your lower belly or the womb space, and just breathing in through your nose, and allow your breath out through the mouth, and allow your breath to move with both hands. Inhale warmth, and exhale with a sigh, releasing tension and stress. Let your jaw soften. Let your hips soften and settle. Let your chest and your breast soften. And just quietly asking yourself, where in my body does softness want to lead today? And just notice what comes up. Again, just a few deep breaths with that sigh, shifting gears into that presence I was talking about, that softness, that pleasure of the present moment. Amazing. So one of the most surprising things about midlife, and I'm sure you've been witnessing this and feeling this in your own life, is the collapse of hard power. It's that the forms of power that you used to rely on, that you've been really trained and conditioned to trust and rely on and to operate from, they begin to dissolve, right? Have you noticed? So yeah, it's the collapse of this hard power. So what does that mean? It's the collapse of the pushing, the pleasing, the perfecting, the managing, the fixing, the need to hold everything together. And those are all things that we maybe have had to rely on to do what we needed to do in the previous era. But now, as we move into this next era of life, it starts to collapse. It starts to not work anymore. And no one told us that these strategies had an expiration date, right? So it can feel really scary when they stop working. It could feel like your whole world is falling apart. And quite often culture will tell you that you are falling apart, that there's something really wrong with you. There's so many different things I could say there, but I think you know what I mean. It could feel unsettling and scary. It's like, wow, these old things that used to work for me, even down to the way you work out and exercise, things starts to shift. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. You're at a threshold, right, into a deeper, richer expression of you, but it could not always feel that way initially. So midlife is where the hard strategies finally, and I say, again, hindsight is 2020. I went through my menopause rebirth at about age 40, and I'm now 63. So the hard strategies, they finally, I say thankfully, fall apart. Not because you failed, not because there's anything wrong with you, not because you're being put out to pasture, but because your soul and your body are saying, your feminine soul and your body, this feminine part of you that had to kind of go underground to survive sometimes, right? This part of you says, we're done doing power the hard way. And you could feel it in your bones. When your mind comes up with this, oh, just push it through, just like you always did, your body whispers or maybe screams, I'm not doing that anymore. No, that's not how we're doing it. And it's not a collapse. Remember that, please. It's not a collapse. It's an awakening. It's a wake-up call from the goddess within you. The moment your soft power begins to rise, right? When all of these things start to shed, collapse, compost, that's the moment when this newness quietly begins to rise. So what does soft power feel like? It can be foreign because of the societies we live in are so hooked into the hard power, the hard way, the struggle. And so many women, most women, I would say, don't always recognize soft power at first sight. Because again, it doesn't feel like what we were taught what power should feel like. Yeah. So it is not adrenaline and excitement. I call that like the roller coaster effect. Like keep it going, keep things exciting, keep moving, keep going, that kind of thing. It is an intensity. It isn't slay or conquer the day. It feels like, again, a softening, perhaps in your belly and your womb space, a warmth in your heart and in your breasts, a slowness, a more grounding in your breath. You become more interested in the breath moving through your body, and a dropping into your hips, a calmer nervous system, and a deeper, quieter truth in general starts to emerge. This is the foundation to true bliss and ecstasy as a woman. It can feel like true sovereignty. And here's the beautiful part. Soft power is magnetic. People feel it around you. They lean in. They soften. They trust you more. They sense your boundaries without you even having to raise your voice. I see this all the time with my clients. When they really come into their pleasure, into their body, into their soft power, boundaries become easier the more you become embodied in your soft power, in your feminine. It's an embodied truth. And whenever a woman is rooted in her truth, the world around her transforms. You have impact from that place of softness. So another way it might be easy to understand this is to break it down into three pillars of soft power. So soft power expresses itself in many ways, and these are three major ways or three feminine pillars. Let's move through these slowly. The first one is receptivity. This is the feminine art of allowing, of receiving, of letting life come towards you. Not passive, this is intentional softening, very deliberate. It's knowing when to lean back so the universe can lean in and usually unfold a more glorious plan than we could ever imagine in our minds. The second pillar is embodied boundaries. We touched on this a bit already, but boundaries, embodied boundaries rise from your embodied womb space and from your yoni. Now I use the Sanskrit word for vagina in my work. So yoni means not just vagina, but the whole sacred space of a woman's erotic anatomy. And this is where true embodied boundaries rise up from. They rise up and into your throat. So there's this connection that happens. And I've seen this all the time when a woman starts to awaken her erotic power, her yoni, her voice changes and she speaks her truth more clearly and sometimes just energetically, sometimes without words. Boundaries just get easier and more powerful. They feel better to the other person as well, or people. They feel warmer, more clear. And also, there's also this strength to it of being non-negotiable. You get really clear on your non-negotiables. Again, words become more optional because you're embodying your truth in such a deep way. And this is where your body begins to really speak for you. And the third pillar is sensual presence. So a woman in her sensual presence is in her pleasure. She has what I call her toes in the sand. She's rooted in her pleasure. And that is powerful stuff. Here she has access to her radiance, her creativity, again, her magnetism, her passion, her love. Her desires become more clear. And the love that she is at the core just shines through her cells with ease, not trying to make it happen, not performative. She's activating her power because she's at home in her body, not out looking for distractions or chasing shiny objects and external validation. She's here, again, toes in the sand, rooted in her pleasure. So soft power doesn't develop with age. It really awakens, it rises when you've experienced enough life to stop pretending. And not every woman is going to choose this. But if we are awake to it, it can really transform everything and really set the stage for an incredible third chapter of your life. Maybe you've noticed some of this. The midlife portal tends to dissolve the mask, dissolve the performance, the overgiving, the self-abandonment, the shrinking, the proving, the shoulds. Oh my God, the shoulds. And what remains when we release, when we allow ourselves to have that shed, that dissolve, what remains is the real, authentic you. And what a beautiful thing that is. The woman beneath the conditioning. The woman you were before the world told you who to be. This is a reclamation. This is you in your soft power. The one who knows, the one who feels, the one who remembers. And one of the most transformative places soft power tends to show up is in intimacy, in our sexual lives. So in your younger years, you may have used performance in your romantic life. And I get it. There are many reasons why a woman would do that. And again, no judgment here whatsoever. But in your younger years, you may have faked orgasm, for example, used performance to be chosen to try to create that safety within a masculine container. Or you may have found yourself in a habit of caretaking to feel love over caretaking for a partner. We're not talking about children here. We're talking about lovers, right? So falling into a pattern of mothering your lover, right? Really common. And again, never making yourself wrong here. Or overgiving is really the same thing. Overgiving to prove your worth. And these are all patterns, of course, that we've learned very young in life. But in midlife, no, that stuff doesn't seem to work anymore. I'm sure you've noticed. Your body won't let you do that anymore. What we sometimes call low libido is actually an awakening of your erotic truth. And what I feel is true is what's been offered on the menu in terms of our sex lives no longer appeals. We're like, wait a minute, that's it, really? Is that all there is? There's got to be more. So if you're a woman who asks that question silently or maybe out loud, there's got to be more. And maybe you just give up on the whole intimacy. And it's like, why would I want to do that? That becomes exhausting. You start to really crave something richer, deeper, something that really nourishes you. And perhaps what's been on the menu has not been nourishing you and just isn't working anymore. So, and that's a good thing. It's again, a wake-up call. It's a time for a deeper dive into your internal landscape, really diving deep, connecting with yourself and discovering what Eros is for you from the inside out. And what happens is your energy becomes a lot clearer and your boundaries again get warmer and stronger. And this all plays into our intimate lives. Your presence becomes deeper. And what I found to be true when a woman goes through this journey, sometimes her partner will transform and join her and start his own journey of his own reclamation at midlife, or maybe things will shift, relationships end to make room for the new. What I find to be true is the right people, the ones who are capable of meeting you and are really down for the journey, right, will come closer. And the ones who can't will move away. And that's good to know. It's good to know. Just put it on the table, right? And not because you had to convince anybody of anything. It's just because your soft power radiates an unmistakable truth. It's in your aura. Another thing that happens in midlife is that your desire becomes your compass. And we're not talking just sexual desire here, oh, that's definitely a part of it, but desire for more rest, more play, more truth, more beauty, true beauty, more pleasure for sure, and more quiet and silence. Peace. Do we say peace? Yeah. Craving peace. More like true connection and creativity. Quite often you see women revive that part of themselves, that creative juice, and freedom. Freedom is another big one. Yeah. So the desire for freedom. And your body, not your mind, your body won't let you override your desire anymore. It's like your body remembers, it's just your mind that's forgotten. And this is not a limitation, this is a liberation. Your desire really reveals what's alive inside of you, shows you where your energy wants to flow. I like to say your desire is the universe, life force calling you forward on your next adventure. And when you honor your desire, you become your most magnetic self. It is absolutely magnetic. You become the woman you were born to be, the goddess you were born to be, the woman who is truly alive. And this is an era of really stepping into your sovereignty, really belonging to yourself, not to the roles you've been taught you're supposed to play and the hats you're supposed to wear, not to conditioning, not to expectations. Soft power doesn't make you hard. Remember, it makes you centered. And this is your sovereignty. You stop betraying yourself to belong. You stop explaining or over-explaining your needs. You embody them and also meet them on a deeper level. You stop shrinking to be accepted, and nothing less than that feels right. And that's a good thing, kind of pulling you forward into the next chapter of your life. And you start to really live your life from your truth, from pleasure, from embodiment, and from desire. And sovereignty really is at the heart of soft power. So claiming your crown of soft power, we can say. So let's bring this into embodiment. Let's bring this into your body with some sensual breath work. So I would recommend not doing this when you're driving. So if you're not driving, find a place to comfortably sit down, clear some space for your base. You could do this lying down as well. We'll come into a slow breath in through the nose and a gentle exhale through your mouth with a sigh, like a ah. Finding a rhythm in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if it feels right, taking one hand to the heart and one hand to the womb space. So if your physical womb is not present, no worries. We're working with this energetic power center of the womb space. And allow your breath to move your hands. First your womb, then your heart. And you'll start to feel the wave of the breath coming into your body. Start to ride the tidal rhythm of your breath. So this is a connected breath. There's no pause, but it's not forced. There's an ease and a flow here. As you begin to ride the tidal rhythm of your breath, allow your body to respond with micro movements. Maybe a whisper of a sway like seaweed in the ocean, or an undulation, a stir of your spine. Feel the inhale entering you. Feel the exhale softening you. Let your pelvis relax. Let your jaw loosen. Let your shoulders melt. Let your body soften into the rhythm. Again, no pauses, no effort, just a soft tidal rhythm. Breathing like the ocean. When we breathe like the ocean, we remember. And when we breathe like the ocean, she awakens. And as you breathe, see if you can sense something awakening, something stirring within you. Maybe it's a little bit of a warmth, a tingle, a soft pulse in the belly, a little spark of aliveness. This is your sensual instinct awakening, your feminine wisdom rising, your love that lives inside of you. And keep going with this ocean breath, just a few more waves. And asking yourself, where am I ready to soften? Where am I ready to receive more? Where am I ready to trust my soft power? Ah, well done. So remember, with this soft power awakening, you don't have to harden to be respected. And we've been taught that, right? You don't have to push to be powerful. You don't have to perform to be loved. Let's underscore that one. Soft power is your midlife birthright. And when you honor it, everything changes. Oh, so if this episode stirred something alive in you, if you felt your body soften, your breath deepen, some stirring of truth awakening, I invite you to come closer. The doors to my Sacred Feminine Mystery School, my Goddess School, are officially open, and we have an incredible pre-sale going on right now. So the link to explore that on a deeper level will be in the show notes. You can explore that and feel into your body, and you'll know if your body is whispering yes. And I want you to trust that, follow that wisdom of your body. All right, my love, that is it for this episode. I want to thank you again for being here. It means the world to me, here, tuning in, and also here on the planet at this time of great change and transformation. Until next time, soften, breathe, and let your pleasure lead.